This is Bogdan with SourceMatch, and thank you for joining us in this virtual roundtable discussion around the subject of recruitment, how it's changing, and what it means for you, whether you're a business owner, a manager who's hiring, a recruiter, or a candidate. Joining us are 5 guests from very diverse backgrounds and industries. To begin with, Dr. Randy Wilt. He's a professional academician and lecturer at the McCombs School of Business at University of Texas, as well as the chairman of Bell's International, a marketing products company. Devin Peters is also joining us. She's an experienced HR business partner at Safeguard Global, who's managing HR operation throughout North America and globally, working closely with Safeguard's Global Employment Outsourcing Unit. Then Gasper Paul, he's the Vice President of Operations with Team Quality Services, having more than 25 years of experience in the automotive and energy sectors. Randy Miller, a senior chair and business coach with Vistage International, and prior to that, he's been an executive in the staffing industry for 20 years and a U.S. Air Force Squadron Commander. Gabriel Wilkinson is joining us as well from the SourceMatch team. He's a recruitment operations manager, and he has more than 10 years of international recruitment experience. Welcome to our guests, and we will dive right in with each and every question.
As we move forward, there's the issue about the way we used to be to the way we've moved in terms of training people. If you take it back to the early 2000s, we were still in the apprenticeship mode, which meant that, you would hire somebody and you would give them 1, 2, 3 weeks of training out there. You can't do that. Not like we used to, and partly is because the sales are not there, the customer engagement's not there. So if you take someone and you give them 3 weeks, you've lost 3 weeks of good production. So the problem is do we hire someone who is not fully capable of the position, but knowing that we can train them into it, and spend maybe 2 or 3 weeks training and then maybe another 2 or 3 months of them trying to get ramped up? Or do you hire someone who has the experience, who has the knowledge, pay more money, who actually can hit the ground running with it? And that is probably the biggest dilemma I think my company has for the next 12 months. And as also a professor in the academic world, I see this happening with students who are coming out, graduating with a bachelor's degree, primarily in business, where a lot of the positions that would take them is, okay, we're going to train you, realizing that they're going to be there for probably 3 or 4 years. A lot of those same students, very, very qualified, very, very intelligent, in terms of the field they're going into, do not have the experience. So therefore, they're not being offered those positions. And I'm seeing them, and this is kind of like the old scenario we used to talk about marketing, where you used to have people hiring marketing majors to go in there and help create marketing, branding and marketing strategy. Now you're seeing them say, okay, well, we can hire you to stock the shelves at the grocery store for the brand that we're selling. And all of a sudden I'm seeing marketing students who are saying, it's not like they told me it was when I came here 4 years ago. And I'm kind of like, yes, I know that, but things will change. Just like my corporate setting, I know that probably after we get through this pandemic over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to see things coming back to normal. We're going to see more purchasing, more sales, more money coming in. The cash flow gets better, and then we can spend more time as we try to educate people, send them off for certifications, and we can hire people that we actually apprentice and realize that the more you're as an apprentice to them, the more loyal they are to you at the same time.
I personally am focusing on my approach. And as a representative of Safeguard, I will say that that is what Safeguard is choosing to do as well. As HR, I find that sometimes candidates are nervous to speak with me, and they're nervous to speak with hiring managers as well, right? So I've intentionally lightened up the language that I use to ask candidates questions, and I'm extremely intentional about providing an agenda for the interview and creating a bit of small talk to ease the candidates' worries at the beginning of the interviews. I think during times of uncertainty, that being intentional with your actions and the way that you're communicating is your best approach. I also am changing the way that I follow up. I'm being more hands-on. I'm sending personalized messages or doing live phone calls to provide candidates feedback. And that type of human connection is really valued right now throughout the pandemic. And then, if the pandemic, if we get it under control, hopefully that intentionality will translate into better hires and kind of catch on throughout our business.
There's a couple areas, Bogdan, and the first one is experience. We're focusing on experience versus education for our primary needs. Somebody with the experience is going to really be able to transition into roles a lot more effectively. A cultural fit is very important to us so that they fit culturally with our core values. And then we also are engaging in the reliance on predictive indexing to better screen our personnel to fit our culture and our organizations and our customers ultimately.
I think a lot of people are stating and assuming that the way we're doing business today under COVID, being remote, working from home, is something that's going to stay with us. I don't personally believe that. Back in 2008, we had a similar situation where a lot of people working from home, companies were trying to cut expenses, and they had their staffs working off-site. There's a challenge there. One of the things that you lose when you have people who are working remotely is the socialization of your workforce. We are social people. None of us, and I don't use none very often, but I don't think any of us can live as a hermit. We need people. Now, some people need more people and more frequency than others, but we all have that social need. And I think what's going to happen as the coronavirus wears out, which it will eventually, when we get back to something a little bit more normal in a society, we are going to go back to working from a company's location rather than spread across the continent and the world. There will be some of that, but I think the majority of people are going to be working from the company site as it was before Corona hit. And so you better plan on that and be okay with the people you hire that they still are able to produce in that type of environment, i.e. in an office environment.
I think the focus is going to continue shifting more towards the importance of the so-called soft skills or intangibles. I really prefer that latter term because there's nothing soft about these skills. They're very important, and they are, in fact, skills, so we can just call them skills. I like intangibles better because they're not something that you see right away in many cases. The must-haves of a job are clear. Those are facts. We have to have certain skills and certain abilities and qualifications. But the intangibles, someone's personality, their drive to excel in whatever they're doing, their motivation, their willingness to succeed, their flexibility, and really what they bring to the company, not just the company culture, but as a person and how they might even shape the company culture is a huge focus. It's been a good year for change in a lot of ways. Again, that might sound odd, but we have to look at silver linings and take advantage of making lemonade out of lemons, to use the old cliche. But someone who can help the company move forward and really bring it along the next steps into the future as we move into 2021 and beyond.